Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
And please, what's your name?
My name is Ben Yenzu.
Ben Yenzu.
Yes.
Thank you very much for allowing us. Please, how do you see the economy?
Well, the economy is in tatters. Our economy is not doing well at all. And from any way you look at it, we have been heavily disappointed by the government. Some of us, we heavily campaign for this government. We stake a lot of hope in this government. We put a lot of hope in this government. We campaign vigorously for this government, thinking that, Nanado, our president, considering his history of activism, his love of democracy, and the rule of law, we thought he was going to be a far better example than what we have been used to in the previous governments. Unfortunately, he has been worse in a lot of areas. So it's been a huge disappointment for a lot of us, particularly some of us who had a lot of hope for him and a lot of admiration for him. I personally supported this president when even certain members of his government were opposed to him. So to see that a lot of the things that he promised us, he has had to walk back on them. To think that we are now in IMF struggling with all these conditions, where he himself vehemently, promised that we were not going to go into this IMF. And I think we have been duped. That is the story of the Ghanaian economy now, as I can say it. So we have been shortchanged. We have been tricked. We have been misled. This government has misled us. He has put us in a place that we didn't want to be. So that is the state of the economy. It doesn't look good. Nobody can say that this economy is anything to write home about. Okay. So that's my initial comment.
The election is coming up 2024. What do you think about it?
Well, the election is an open game. Unfortunately, one would have thought that this government would have done their homework so that all the insults and the name calling and how they bastardized the previous government, John Mahama, he would not have had a chance, to even make any showing. But from the inefficiencies and the incompetence of this same government, at least we can see that Mahama looks like is looking like a bright spot. So honestly, he has a good chance. If you ask me, I would not write him off. No Ghanaian in his proper state of mind would ever think of writing John Mahama off, because the records are there. You may be as partisan as you want, but if you look at the records, if you are presented with a set of facts, you will see that indeed Mahama is a viable option. We can't write him off. So this election, there is everything to go for. It's not a done deal. As we say, a day in politics is a long time. So from now to the time we vote, there's still a lot of time. But I'm realistically speaking now, if the elections were to be held any moment from now, the government would find things very easy, very difficult, if not to think of the worst. The government would have it very difficult. And every nook and cranny of the country, I'm from a rural, constituency in the Western region. And in the last 4 years or last 8 years, this sitting government had a lot of support over there. Now, I don't want to even talk about, the urban areas, Accra, because, we are very mixed. There are a multiplicity of opinions here. But when you go to the rural areas, when people speak, they speak. You can see that, this government is in trouble in the rural areas, particularly. It is in trouble. Although, when you go to the rural areas, they are happy the government implemented the free SHS, but the accompanying emerging crisis, economic crisis, has probably wiped away all some of the benefits from, some of the programs that the government introduced. So this government is in real trouble, honestly, if I have to tell you.
Former President Mahama spoke about 24-hour economy. Do you believe that?
Yes. Thank you for that question. Thank you. You're making me give a lot of opinion. The 24-hour economy is a good, program. However, it is not John Mahama's initiative per se. You see, in 2016, when President Kufuor talked about implementing the free SHS policy, it was not his initiative. Free SHS has been around since the days of Nkrumah. So Kufuor came to give it a lot of impetus and boost. Okay, and that is what made a lot of Ghanaians come to what do you call it? Establish belief again in the free SHS system. It is the same with the 24-hour economy. In fact, the 24-hour economy has been around for some time. Per my checks, it has been around since 2016. From 2016, some of the manufacturing companies have been implementing a 24-hour system. However, it doesn't have a broad base. A lot of the industrial, outfits, companies need to embrace that policy. So what I see President Mahama doing is that he's coming to make it more popular, just as President Kufuor made the free SHS system popular. And it's a good thing. If we have, what it means is that we are going to have 3 streams of, workers working. When you divide 24 by 8, it is 3. So this one will run 1 shift. There are going to be 3 shifts. And if you look at our economic, in fact, and quote my words, because I am a living testimony. I have worked and lived. My brother knows a lot more of what I am saying personally. I have lived and worked in economies, industrialized economies, where the source of America's strength is that the manufacturing sector or the productive sector never sleeps. They work round the clock. If you go to Japan, it's the same. If you go to Western Europe, it's the same. If you go to, of course, Western Europe is Germany, France, China. Any economy that wants to be counted as an emerging force must run a 24-hour economy. That means that your operating machines must never, that's the source of productivity, is the foundation of productivity. So what President Mahama is saying, it is true. We need a 24-hour economy. Fortunately, it is not his idea, but he is championing it. And I will give him credit for championing that idea. In the same way that I gave President Kufuor the credit for pushing the free SHS idea. So there's a comparison there. If we are giving President Kufuor credit for free SHS, which wasn't an initiative, but he put it at the center of the national discussion, then we should give President Mahama to the same, praise for bringing a hitherto hidden agenda, bringing it to the center stage. So I will give him a lot of credit. He has done well. But as to how the implementation, the devil is in the details. As to how we are going to make it actionable so that it will benefit our citizens, I hope that he will bring the necessary plans for national discussion so that it will eventually inure to our collective benefit. But it's a good thing. I give him credit for that.
Thank you very much, sir. This is Victor reporting for NSG News. News with integrity.